First of all, I would like to thank all of you that have been giving me messages on Twitter here at Two Bros versus Shows. Your tweets, your subscriptions, and everything means so much to me and my brother. Unfortunately, my brother couldn't again be here with us because he went to the con and got nerd flu. And unfortunately, when you're in get nerd flu when you go to a con, you end up, turning into a zombie and eating people. So, with that said, I'm Gary, and I'm here with two bros doing shows, your wrestling podcast. And I am here in what has been a huge week of just stipulation and a couple of great things that have happened. And I'd like to drop a few of those things right now. First off, for our top story, Chris Jericho finally won the U.S. title. Now, Chris Jericho had never won the U.S. title before. And to just tell you what Chris Jericho has done with his career in wrestling, I'm about to read off his title reigns and exactly how many of them with each belt he's had. He was an ECW TV champion back when ECW was a thing. He is a 4-time WCW Cruiserweight champion. He was a WCW TV champion. He was a 2-time WCW champion, but this was post-buyout. He was a 3-time World Heavyweight Champion. He's a 9-time Intercontinental Champion, 5-time Tag Team Champion, a European Champion, a Hardcore Champion, and he is now the U.S. Champion. And thus far, he has had 4 Grand Slam title runs, meaning that he has held every title in the company at least 4 times. Not altogether, obviously, but wow, that's a lot. Chris Jericho, going through his career, is insane. It's just the quality of wrestling that he puts on, the quality of matches that he puts on, his in-ring promos, his mic work. I mean, the only thing that this guy does is make everyone around him better. I'll be honest, do you think Kevin Owens would be as appealing if Chris Jericho wasn't there? Quick answer for you. No. So, would anyone have even cared about Fandango if Chris Jericho hadn't wrestled with them? Quick answer for you. No. So many people that this guy has worked with, he, in his latter years of wrestling, has put over younger talent, which definitely cannot be said of everyone. Randy Orton, John Cena. But I can definitely tell you this, that guys like Jericho make the business better, because you've got to have these guys. They get their glory days. They get their 9 Intercontinental Championships. And then they just decide that, I'm happy. My legacy is written in stone. I've had X amount of world titles, so it's not like I'm chasing for that one like a certain guy named friggin' Dolph Ziggler. So, this guy is Hall of Fame certified and just makes everyone around him better. I mean, he's had so many matches throughout the tag team and the intercontinental scene. He's had some incredible, just, he was a big part of Daniel Bryan coming to the WWE. He was a big part of Wade Barrett coming to WWE. In fact, he was the one that trained Wade Barrett in when NXT was like a stupid little TV show that wasn't about wrestling. It was like some kind of, TV show that was a reality TV show or some crap like that no one remembers. But point of it being is it was the root of them to bring in the Nexus, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, he was a big part of bringing in Wade Barrett. He was so huge in just the lives of people like Eddie Guerrero and Chris Benoit and many other wrestlers who, aren't with us anymore. I mean, he's wrestled in just about every company there is to wrestle in, because he's done work in Japan, he's done work in Mexico, he's done work in Canada, he's done work in the United States. He's worked for everyone just short of TNA. So I get the feeling that this guy is, he's going to be an automatic Hall of Fame candidate, just like Edge was, as soon as he decides to call it a day, which in the shape that he's in now, at the pace that he's going now, I don't think he's going to retire till after he's 50, because the guy's already like 42, 43 years old, and he's insane in the ring. I don't think I've seen someone that old move that quickly. And Jericho was even quoted recently as saying that when you get older, it's not about how awesome you are. It's about what you can do to make yourself look like a reputable competitor in the ring, so that you can make the younger competitors in the ring look better. So he's got the right view of the business. I mean, he is, that those type of people come few and far between, because there are a lot of guys like your Hogans that want to be ball hogs and always have a title and not understand what is best for business. It is unfortunate that, you have Hogans out there that think that, oh, I'm 60 years old and I can still wrestle a match. No, you can't. You couldn't wrestle if I gave you 15 Vicodin, okay? No. I'm sorry. And this idea that Ric Flair is going to be in the Royal Rumble is a joke. I've seen the tweets. I've heard about the number 17 one showing him, trying to weight lift. This is a guy that has had hip replacement surgery, has several injuries, was not allowed or cleared by doctors to wrestle by WWE at all. So I don't know why the hell they let him get into the Rumble. I mean, in my personal opinion, that's just not happening. I just think that could be him, because and we'll get to messing with people through tweets here in a minute, but yeah, I don't like his chances. Anyway, getting past Chris Jericho, we are going to get to our next top story, which is Kenny Omega. For those of you, I do want to apologize. I did say Kenny Omega's contract the last time we did this was over in February. It apparently is over on January 31st, which is 2 days before the Rumble, which would mean there is no chance that he is going to be in the Rumble unless they absolve him of 2 days of his contract, which why would they do that? The big thing about this is that I think John Cena sees this as a do your best AJ Styles impression, because it was at this point last year that he was tweeting pictures of AJ Styles right before the Rumble. And then, lo and behold, who shows up at the Rumble? AJ Styles. Now, he's tweeted out 2 pictures. One that was last week of Kenny Omega, and one just, I believe it was this morning, of a picture of Kenny from South Park. And, what John Cena is putting on his Instagram and wherever else he's posting them is that you can take this as however you want to take it. But, I really hope this isn't wrestlers just trying to troll people, because that would be really bad, and it would be bad for Kenny Omega's career, and it would be bad for the WWE to hype something like this unless you did not plan on moving forward with it. Because if you leave him in New Japan, you're going to have a lot of pissed off WWE fans, and you're going to have a lot of fans that are very disillusioned as to whether they can trust anything they hear on any social media account that said wrestler puts out there. So, WWE, open up your pocketbook, honey, because you're going to need that money. The other thing that I wanted to put out there also about Kenny Omega, and this was something that was stated just recently that does sort of make this whole him disappearing thing sound like either a work or that New Japan might be giving him some time off to heal. And these are some quotes that Omega stated he had committed 2016 to winning at the Dome, and that's the Tokyo Dome, and didn't win. He then stated, until he figures out what he is missing, he cannot wrestle. And he also went on to say that he would not be at Fanatica, he would not be at New Beginning, and until he has rethought everything. Now, I'm not sure whether to take this as a troll, as a personal problem, or guys trying to use the internet and sort of break the fourth wall, or guys using the internet to enforce that fourth wall. This is such a vague situation, but the statements being put out there like this almost sound like the ones the Young Bucks put out there not too long ago, where they were like, let's see what's next for us, and they put NXT, which obviously didn't happen because they got lowballed by WWE, and then they ended up in Ring of Honor. I mean, at least that way they can still wrestle with New Japan, but you're looking at at this point, New Japan trying to become a global brand, and WWE is slowly but surely, creeping in on these guys. Especially with the way they poached a lot of their talent last year. It was very, very sad for New Japan, and they had to completely rebuild this whole year. And if they were to lose Kenny Omega, and if this wasn't a swerve, or he could be saying, I don't want to do anything until I've worked out a contract agreement with somebody. And, he may not, because no one, apparently, and this is according to Pro Wrestling Insider, no one within the company has stated that he has re-signed with New Japan. However, there are pictures of him on some posters for upcoming events, but keep in mind that, and this is from a lot of different wrestlers that have stated, these posters are usually made in advance. So you can't really, you got to take that at face value. So if he chose to not appear, or if he chose to not resign, actually is the word I was looking for, with the company, that would be obviously that we're going to find that out here in the next couple of weeks. If this is true, then the war over his contract is definitely going to be a thing. Now, just because he didn't re-sign with New Japan does not automatically mean he won't work out a new deal with New Japan. But it does make it more likely that he will most likely go to WWE, because really with New Japan, Kenny Omega's done everything Kenny Omega can do. All he can do is just do it all over again. It just seems to me the more logical situation here would be to go to the WWE. But as I've stated that many a time, and I will state it again, but the more we get into this, the more, especially after these last few quotes from Kenny Omega, it's beginning to sound like a big fat work. So we'll see. We'll see. Now, on Monday night, The Undertaker declared himself a part of the Rumble. This kind of came as a shock, because I honestly thought we were going to see Undertaker in a match at the Rumble, not in the Rumble itself. But knowing that Undertaker is in the Rumble, I'm not quite sure what this means. I mean, is this just a way of getting him back on television? Is this Undertaker's going to win the Rumble because this is his last hurrah? Oh my gosh. Is this... is this we want to overbloat the Rumble because it's our 30th anniversary? I'm really unsure, because, I really thought that the Rumble was about Goldberg and Lesnar. I thought that was really going to be the case. You stick 28 other schmuckatellis in there, and then live and let live. But now you've got Goldberg, you've got Lesnar, you have all three members of the Shield, you have all three members of the New Day, and you've got, Braun Strowman, and you've got The Miz in there, and Baron Corbin. So, it seems to me like they are making this field very big, and not just big because it's 30 people, but big because of the names they're putting in it. Thus far, Baron Corbin, who hasn't won any titles, and Braun Strowman are the only people in this field thus far who have never won a title. So I honestly, it is very, it is absolutely amazing that this field that we have for the Royal Rumble. I'm shocked that WWE would give us something good after the last, colossal failures they've had with pay-per-views. I mean, I have to be honest, Survivor Series was iffy. TLC was okay. I don't even want to talk about, Roadblock, because Roadblock was not that great. It's just become a lot more convoluted with pay-per-views. So I think, or I'm hoping, that in 2017 they maybe dial it back a bit with pay-per-views, because 20 in a year is a lot. And honestly, we're going to be doing a lot more shows if there's that many pay-per-views every year, I'll tell you that much. I wouldn't put people like us out of business, but I'll tell you, it's going to make it more frequent and a lot more flyer miles, that's for sure. Anyway, one of the other things I did want to talk about before I left here today was that by the end of SmackDown today, Becky Lynch and Alexa Bliss had a little heated exchange backstage about the whole La Luchadora thing that happened. And, well, despite complaining about the whole situation, Daniel Bryan was like, yeah, well, she beat you, so guess what? You're going to defend your title in a steel cage next week. And I'm like, damn, you guys are not letting up on these women, are you? Because I'll be honest, they have put these women through hell and back, and I don't care about what your people want to say about women and how they wrestle and how good they are. Obviously, and this is not a sexist statement, this is just pro wrestling. Not a lot of these women wrestlers are going to be able to do what the male wrestlers do. They're not physically created to do those sort of things. But when you take it at face value versus what we were getting freaking 8 years ago from the garbage divas division, I will take today's women, all day, every day, and twice on Sunday over that crappy division. And I have said that once. I will say it again. I will say it until I die. The days of the diva are dead, and I hope they stay dead. So, in all honesty, the new women's division, it is a good thing. Women's wrestling is a good thing. I am so sick and tired of your Eva Maries who, can't wrestle for shit, but, I'm a total diva star. Ooh, no thank you. Go home. You belong with Donald Trump or something. But, yeah, it's terrible what women's wrestling was, but women's wrestling now is so great. And I'm glad to hear things like, well, now you're going to be fighting in the steel cage. and be like, yeah, I want to watch the women's match next week, instead of like, that's the women's match, it's time to go to the bathroom now. Because, yeah, I mean, that's the way people were thinking, like, just as little as 2 years ago. Now people are starting to finally come around, and it's a good thing. Other than that, I don't have much to report on. So, and again, I hope but my brother is here on Saturday, because Saturday and Sunday, the WWE has its UK Championship two-day event on the WWE Network. We will, and since technically it airs for us in the Pacific Standard Time at 12 in the afternoon, I will probably have something on the first day of that event for our Saturday show. So, yeah. My name is Gary. I am here for John, and I am signing out.